This was the moment when I was invited as guest of honor at Houston University, and just before the speech, I was having the flashbacks of my life. How ironic is life? One moment you're nothing significant, and another moment you're one of the most prominent members of society. Such an unforgiving place is the society which only cares about your achievements and how much money you make. Unless you're somewhat useful, they won't even give you much value. While I was pondering about this all, my name was called at the stage. I started off by sharing my achievements, titles, and accomplishments, and all the good experiences that I remembered I had in my time in university. Students were eagerly waiting for what I had to share and that golden formula that was my ticket to success. I started with my life history. It was 1930 when I was born in a very poor house on a farmland far away from my town. Both of my parents were very hardworking and devoted to living an honest life. We were 3 brothers and 2 sisters. I was the eldest one and a responsible child. Yet I was the most curious of all. I had no plans to become an academic person, yet I was very much interested in reading books all the time and exploring different topics. Especially I loved the picture books and storybooks. I clearly remember to this day when I finally was in 4th grade. My uncle bought me a second-hand collection of Full Encarta encyclopedia. It was like a whole another universe had opened to me, and I was instantly hooked to this new form of knowledge with pictures and stories from other cultures as well as history. Every day after school, I used to sit for hours and go through the pages of this colorful book and wonder how beautiful this whole universe is. And while I used to go for a walk and explore nearby lands, I loved to turn stones and see different insects and observe their movements. The books really helped me open my eyes to this new way of thinking and observing at such a young age. To this day, I am still grateful for such a bundle of knowledge that I got at early age, which indeed helped me excel my mind and open new dimensions of thought. I went on to explain how this all started as my curiosity towards reading different books helped me and how I got serious in my studies. Despite belonging to such a poor family, I was very much excited to go to school and start studying really hard and got good grades. And when I moved to college, I was a distinction holder, all thanks to the books that I got at an early age. I moved on to encourage students to choose the subject that they are most passionate about and invest their time wholeheartedly and work towards it to gain knowledge as well as experience and make their passion their profession. Students loved my speech, and all the staff members were also thrilled to have me as their guest of honor. The proudest moment for me was when I saw my wife in a front row happily cheering for me. On the way back, I observed the glitter in her eyes, which was sparkling with joy and pride that she held for me. I still remember when I first met her. She was my senior professor, and I just had started as a new lecturer in college. We both were lecturers of physics, so we had a lot in common and lots to talk about and share scientific theories. More specifically, we were both interested in quantum mechanics. We clicked instantly. Every day after lectures, we used to sit in the staff room and discuss physics. Soon we developed fondness for each other and we started to go for long walks. Having company of such an intellectual person was a big-time luxury, and I cherished each moment of it, and her knowledge was beyond any other academic person that I had company with. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, and before we knew it, we were so much in love with each other and respected each other's opinion and intellect. As I completed my PhD, I did not wait for long and asked her to marry me. She gladly accepted my request, and within weeks we were living together. Although we were not very rich, yet we were very accomplished in our respected fields and working in very reputable institutes. Life was going really good, and we were having the most peaceful time of our life and growing day and night professionally as well as personally. Then suddenly tragedy hit us in the most unexpected way, as my father was admitted in hospital for 2 months due to heart issues. He had his final stroke and he passed away. His death took my mother in shock. She went into deep depression. She started to lose weight and was gloomy most of the time. After a couple of months, my aunt, who was also cousin of my mother, arranged a blind date for her so that she can also come out of sadness that she was encountering. The man happened to be a professional psychologist and was a very decent person and very knowledgeable as well. They instantly clicked and hit it off right away. He took really good care of my mother as he used to spend most of the time with her in the evenings. He also happened to be a really successful businessman, which we were not aware of before, and due to his kind nature, we all were very happy and comfortable around him. My aunt suggested my mother to remarry again so that she could also experience the joys in life, and we all supported her decision. Finally, after a couple of months, they both got married, and it was visible to see that my mother was happy after a very long period of grief. Soon she got stable and was back on her feet, and she resumed her career as a financial analyst. It was good to see the energy that she was putting in her career. Every family has their ups and downs. She was no exception. There were some differences between my stepfather and my mother, but since they were both mature and experienced in life, they were pretty tolerant of each other's shortcomings. Somehow this relationship did not last very long, as my mom was back in her right position to work. She was fully invested in her career, while my stepfather was very much busy with his clients. Though they were very good friends, still decided to move on their separate ways. They ended their marriage peacefully, and given the age, my mom wanted to spend more time with orphans. But what disaster my life was waiting for me, I was totally clueless about it. I had spent 5 years of my life with my wife, and we were very peacefully married. Though we were not very rich, we were living a content life. I was greatly mistaken, as this was my perception, not hers at all. She was pretty progressive in her mind and wanted to do really big things. Though I wanted to build my family and live a very simple life, and ultimately wanted to build my own farmhouse with greenery all around it so we could enjoy nature. As time started to pass, I really wanted to have kids with my wife, but she was persistent to wait for a couple more years. We had so many discussions, even to the point of argument, that this is the right time to start a family. But she was very serious about building her career and starting her own ventures, as she had so many dreams in her life. I just had no idea what to do or how to proceed. This pain was eating me alive, as I was in so much pain, yet I supported her with all that I could, so she may also live her dream. I honestly had not imagined that she would crush me like this and would leave me in pieces like a broken ship. One of the advantages of being an academic person is that you start to develop a whole lot of patience in your heart, and you have a very soft personality, and you get to forgive others for their mistakes easily. After long years of working as a professor in university, I had gold medals under my belt, yet I was not a very successful man in relationship. This started to take a toll on me and was eating me alive from inside. Although I consulted many psychologists on how I can improve my relationship, one of my friends, who was also a PhD in psychology, suggested that I start dating my wife all over again to initiate a spark. I tried that. We again started going on long walks and tried various restaurants. Also, I took her to London to have a really good experience of city life. Yet, we were drifting apart. It was beyond my control, as she was way too unresponsive. Then one day, what I had feared all along was that she was having an affair with someone and was in communication constantly. The way I found out was by her sister, as she also was worried about her mental health. She was not talking to anybody or responding to anyone. After weeks of trying, I was finally hoping to give up. Then my friend suggested checking on her phone. One day, while she was texting, she was very much tired and just fell asleep with cell phone in her hand. I just took the opportunity and seized the moment. I took the phone to see whom she had been communicating with. The conversation were long, but were mostly about the business and new ventures that they were planning to do. It was more like a business partnership to me, but yet they were looking forward to getting married. I thought maybe he's another businessman, so I asked my friend if he could look around the phone number and see who this phone number belonged to. As a private investigator, he tried his best but was unable to find the owner name, as we planned to do something very quick to track a number via the tracker. To my surprise, it was not far away from my home, just another neighborhood down 5 blocks. So I sat with my friend in a car and went there to see who the actual person was, who wanted to marry my wife and to start so many businesses. To my surprise, the neighborhood seemed familiar as we were moving along and that I had been there before. The earth beneath me disappeared when our car stopped in front of our stepdad's home. I could not believe what just happened. I thought maybe it was some kind of a computer mistake or error of numbers that we tried and retried, but the location came again and again. My mind went totally blank. It was the most heartbreaking and painful thing that had happened to me. I immediately started crying. My friend tried to console me, but it was obviously not enough. I did not want to upset my wife, so I kept quiet, and now it was taking a very hard hit on my health. For how long a man could keep his composure, so my friend suggested that I catch them red-handed, because that would be better for my own mental health and peace. Opportunity came automatically, as my wife said she would be going for a conference next week to another city. But to my surprise, she never went out of city. As I was following her, she just went to her stepfather's home and they both went to a restaurant to have a meeting and make clients. To a surprise, they were venturing into real estate. Since I was with my friend, he started to take pictures with the really high quality cameras as an evidence to show to her family. Well, this was a very painful moment for me. As she came home, I was waiting. I immediately showed her snaps. The horror on her face was unbelievable. She just threw up and was muttering strange words. She was not making any sense. I said, "This is enough. I had enough of you. I did my best and was the kindest towards you. Yet you did this. It's better that you leave this house now and for good. Your life is not my concern now." I also showed these pictures to her mom and explained everything to everyone. I was surprised and sad at the same time, and we finally departed in our own ways. Really took me some months to make a sense of my life again. Due to my supportive family and good friends, I started to build a farm and started to plant trees and fruits. I always wanted that, as it was something that brought me joy and peace. I was happy again in my own little world. This was my heaven that I had built on earth. I dedicated it to a non-profit organization so that children could come and learn about the plantation. Now I am on a mission to help children understand the value of nature and how they can recreate their environment and make it better eco-friendly. To my surprise, after 1 year of passing through university, I saw her there. Since I was at peace, I just wanted to know if she was doing okay. As she saw me, she started to cry. It was not something I had anticipated. Still, I offered her a cup of coffee, so we sat there in a cafeteria, and she told me that he was there only because he wanted her retirement money to fund his own ventures. As soon as she left me, he also left her within a couple of months and was on his way to hunt another woman with a good pension. She was not only heartbroken, but also was a heart patient now. I was very sorry to hear about her story, and I sincerely wanted to help. But I think it was way too late for us to get back together, since I had found my purpose in life and now I was busy in a state of joy. I just wished her well and advised her to do some charity work or to volunteer in an old home, so that she could also lessen the burden of heart and find a purpose and meaning in her life. This is where we finally departed, but I'm grateful that finally things came in my favor and I was at peace and contributing to society.